This is the LowcoSports Lowdown podcast. Here are your hosts, Justin Jarrett and Wes Kerr.
Hey, LowcoSports fans. A little different, actually, tonight. Just me to start the show. Max Arraj should be along shortly. Wes is visiting some family out of town, so he's got the night off. But appropriate tonight for me to start this thing alone. Like this thing started in 2017, one man and a dream. And, today I have a little bit of personal news that I shared with the social media world. But, a big part of my vision for this thing has always been the educational part and the experiential learning and giving students in the Low Country an opportunity to get their hands in the dirt and figure out how to do what we do, if that's something that they're interested in. And I got the opportunity to take the next step on that front starting today when I took on the role of media tech instructor at Hardyville Junior Senior High School. Excited to work with my longtime friend Blake Rayleigh, who local sports fans would know from his days coaching football in the area. He was the first football coach and AD at Hardyville, and now he's the principal. And we've been talking about this for almost a year, the prospect, and I've had an opportunity to wrap my head around what that might look like and how it might fit in with everything I've built here with Lowco. And the beauty of it is that Coach Rayleigh, as I still know him, Mr. Rayleigh is very supportive of that vision and sees, LowcoSports being a big part of how we teach our students media technology. So very excited about that transition in my career. It does mean that my days will be a little bit different. It'll be sort of like when we first started this thing, when I was working full-time at USCB, and it kind of fit in around the margins. But I don't think it's going to impact anything we do content-wise. We're going to have the same content that we've had, and we're going to be looking to get more people involved in creating that content as I transition, as I've often said, from the white-knuckled pilot to more of the air traffic controller, and try to teach students in the Low Country how to do what I do, and hopefully go on into bigger and better and greater things than I ever will. So that's the plan, and that's my personal news tonight. And now Max Arraj joins us just in time. What's up, buddy?
Hey, what's up, man?
Doing all right. I was just telling the people about my new gig over at Hardyville High School. Excited to be teaching media tech over there and working with students, much like I've worked with yourself and a lot of other young people who are interested in careers in this field, and definitely excited to get more students involved. And we've got one in the green room to talk about this here in a bit. Tristan Roberts from Beaufort's own going to join us tonight and talk about Beaufort Academy opening up the high school football season on Saturday. Tough loss to Northwood Academy, but really kind of what we expected. I mean, it was kind of a mismatch of a team that's loaded for bear in 4A and a team that's kind of rebuilding in 1A. So we'll get into the nitty gritty about it with Tristan momentarily. But a couple other things going on tonight. I know Beaufort had a home scrimmage against Somerville. I was looking to get some kind of report on that, but I don't know much about it at this time. Not a whole lot to take away from these things either. It's kind of like we look good, we didn't look good. We got things we need to work on. It's like part of the process. And I slipped over to May River and caught a little bit of May River, Whale Branch, Midland Valley, Fort D, little four-way scrimmage. Everybody got to go at each other, and that was pretty good. Both Whale Branch and May River, early and works in progress, but you can see where both those teams should be very competitive this year. So looking forward to it. Should be a good season.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, on that Northwood team, I really see them as, because I watched some of that film. I really see them as a dark horse in the 4A because they're a team that ready for it. So I think they're going to be good this year. But May River is one of those teams who I also think is a dark horse in their region as well. So I really like what I'm seeing, out of Northwood. Obviously, not really in our area, but I've watched them for a really long time. So, I think May River and Whale Branch could be two dark horses in both of their regions, and I really like the way May River is looking.
Yeah, and it was interesting to see them tonight because they kind of hinted at it at Media Day, but I wasn't sure exactly what to expect. That they were kind of getting back to how they used to do things. They kind of hinted that they were kind of getting back to their old ways on offense a little bit. And I saw what that meant tonight. Like they're lining up and running some triple option and
Yeah.
coming up to the line of scrimmage, and as soon as they get on the line of scrimmage, snapping it, like trying to run some pace. So they looked interesting on offense. They need to hang on to the ball. They copped it up a couple times, but they look interesting. I'm really excited for that region. I think it's going to be wide open and very competitive. So that's going to be fun. But let's get to our first guest tonight after our MVP sponsors. LowcoSports, powered by our MVP sponsors, starting with Megan Jarrett, the official realtor of LowcoSports, my wife. She's with Keller Williams of the Low Country. She'd love to help you find your place in the Lowco or upgrade to a bigger, better place in the Lowco. So if you want to get in the real estate market, it's a great time to do it with Megan Jarrett, the official realtor of LowcoSports, and my wife. Homegrown Home Inspections is our official home inspector. Jan Lucas and his team are the best in the biz. They're going to make sure you're making a great investment, and they are great when you're building a new home. You got to have that phased inspection and have them check on it every step of the way and make sure it's built right. And Homegrown Home Inspections, hospice care of the Low Country, official hospice provider of LowcoSports. They're providing hospice care, palliative care, free grief counseling, and more, and doing great things in our community at Hospice Care of the Low Country, where it's not about dying, it's about living. And Mickelson Law Firm, our original sponsor, presenting sponsor of our Hilton Head Christian Academy coverage, and our official real estate closing attorney. They've been with us since the start, way back in 2017. And we appreciate Mickelson Law Firm for all their support. Hope you'll call on them for your legal needs. And those MVP sponsors present our guest tonight, Tristan Roberts from Beaufort's Own. What's going on, man?
Hey man, yeah, everything's going good. You know, just live, breathing, chilling. Everything can't be better. You know.
I hear that, brother. It's a great time of year, back in school, and that means football season, and you're already back on the air. You were on Saturday night for the Beaufort Academy Northwood game with Javon. Did it feel good to get back on the headset?
Yeah, it did. Even though we had some mix-ups with the audio, with the cutting in and out, but it felt good just to get my foot back in the door, especially after taking a long break with baseball season and everything. So it was a good start to the year.
Yeah, you were playing ball for Whale Branch this spring, so you stayed busy with all of that. But got back in the booth with Javon on Saturday night. What'd you think about Beaufort Academy? I mean, you heard me say earlier, I think that game went about how we expected it would. But what'd you see from them?
Beaufort Academy, you can see the potential in the offense. It's just it was a powerhouse that they were going against. So it was like the offense they were running, it was kind of more jet touch passes, jet options, and everything, trying to get their playmakers the ball. When I talked to Coach Shuford, he was talking about his son Dietrich Shuford, his other son Nick Shuford, and Neil, I believe number 4. They were trying to get them the ball as much as they possibly could. So you saw that in their offense, trying to just run in different options, play kind of look like a college football offense, like an Air Force type of thing. It's like you see the potential in the offense. I think it was just more so of the battle of the trenches. And with Northwood being a 4A team, they were getting back there, shutting down the options and the run plays. Nick Underwood had some pretty good runs on the night. You could see the potential in it. Like he was finding the holes, he was cutting through. Just the O-line wasn't able to hold up. That was mostly the story of the game.
Yeah, and that was kind of what I expected because they did lose a lot off that offensive line. Alex Williams was really like the guy who was really the anchor. And so I figured it would take a little while for that offensive line to kind of come together. And again, they had an incredible test in front of them the other night because, like you said, Northwood was just getting penetration, blowing everything up. The misdirection stuff just didn't have a chance of really getting off the ground a lot of the time because they were in there blowing it up before it could be effective. So, I think they'll be fine in 1A, BA. I think they'll be very competitive in that region and be right in there. I think Thomas Hayward's probably the favorite, but I think they'll be right up there alongside, fighting for second.
Yeah, like I said, the offense looked sloppy, but again, this is first game of the season. Had some time off with the practice, with the weather, of course. So not everything is as polished as they want to be, but you can still see potential in the offense. Dietrich Shuford, he can throw the ball. He put the ball in some nice spots. Missed a couple of throws, but that's a normal thing. You're gonna miss throws and everything. Yeah. So you can see how they want to like mix in the run with the pass with that balance in Nick Underwood and Dietrich Shuford kind of taking the ball with the read option, maybe some RPOs, like slants and everything. If they can incorporate that into their game, I feel like they'll be just fine.
Yeah, I got to check out your Whale Branch boys today. Oh, you got one, Max? I saw you come off mute.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, I mean, looking at Beaufort Academy, I mean, we watched it. I mean, obviously, Northwood is just a completely different team on another level. But looking at that Beaufort Academy team, I think they're strong. But like you said, they're short on practices going into that game last Saturday. They just didn't have enough time to get ready for that game. Otherwise, I think it could have been a little bit of a closer game. I still think Northwood would get the win. But and my question would be, defensively, how does Beaufort look defensively?
Defensively, they like we said, they were going against a powerhouse, but it kind of looked like the pass was very open. Like they did well stopping the run for the most part. Keeping Ford from Northwood, number 26, he had some runs where it was just he was a good running back, breaking tackles and everything. But most of the time they did good stopping the run. It was the pass where they got killed. Aiden Hogan, Ty Washington, and I believe number 6 on Northwood. I can't remember his name right now, but I believe Ty Washington and Aiden Hogan both had either close or past 100 yards receiving. And it was like tackling issues or just angles that they were taking on the ball when the ball was caught. So I think if they work better in the secondary, like swarming to the ball, I feel like they'll be just fine in the passing game.
Yeah, I noted the same thing. And interestingly, like Schuper told me before the season, he felt good about his DB group. So that tells me more than anything that like Northwood's passing attack's pretty lethal.
Yeah,
their receivers are pretty dang good, and it's hard to keep them covered for a long time. So I didn't take a whole lot of negative away for BA really. It was just a mismatch from the get-go and way too early. Way too early for them to be ready for it. So I think they'll be fine. I got to see your Whale Branch boys tonight, though. They're looking pretty solid. What do you think about the Warriors this year?
I haven't been able to make it out to that scrimmage. I had some stuff that had to do with work, but it was.
So the guys.
Yeah, they've been talking highly on the practices and everything. They think they feel that they have a good shot to win the region. I believe them. I mean, they have the pieces to do it. They have Alonzo Allen, who's senior this year, coming. Yep. He's always had good seasons from freshman to his senior year, hopefully. So I think what derailed them mostly last year was probably some injuries that happened like at bad times. Yeah. But I feel if everybody can stay healthy, they did get a new addition in Eddie Gonzalez from Beaufort Academy. So
saw him tonight.
Yeah, so we'll see how the season goes.
And that's a nice pickup for them. He can help them a little bit on the line because Raheem Saunders went down with a torn ACL this summer in a camp. So that was, they looked like they were going to be really strong on the line with everybody coming back. And then Raheem getting hurt definitely was a blow. But Eddie will add some depth there. And they're solid up front. Got Big Ivy, got Big Tots.
Yeah.
Or little Ivy and Big Tots. Little Ivy's about twice my size though, so I ain't calling him little. But these guys, we saw May River tonight, as well as Whale Branch go against Midland Valley and Fort D. So a couple pretty heavy hitters. And you can't really keep score. There's Powell. You can't really keep score because they split their time in half, and you got half of the time on offense and half on defense. So like, if you scored, you just went back to the 40 and started over. So it wasn't really that kind of deal. But, I think both Whale Branch and May River had scoring drives against both teams. And, everybody let up scoring drives to everybody pretty much. But I saw a lot of likes out of both teams. It was cool the way they had them going on both ends of the field. I like the
that's a nice setup.
Nice. Yeah, right? Like you just go from the 40 in.
Yeah, I like that setup.
In the middle, head on a swivel for a while.
Kind of feels like just 7-on-7, but like you're actually scrimmaging.
Real football.
Yeah.
They were even hitting the quarterbacks. They were wearing different colored shirts, but they still let them hit them. I don't know why they wore the different colored shirts because they still got to hit them. But you see how May River's really running it up to the line and going fast.
Yeah, they look like they have fast pace.
Trying to catch that defense sleeping a little bit and just get a step off the line. I like it. I like what they're doing.
I think that's going to cause some problems for a lot of teams this year, is how fast they can move the football.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
I just like the way they get up to the line and go, and they caught the defense, off guard a couple of times because they're standing around waiting
kind of
for them in the
yeah.
huddle, waiting, and then they run up to the line and go, and they kind of
It's
catch them
kind of
flat-footed.
it's kind of like college themed, really, like really
Yeah, I
quick
mean,
to the ball and keep the ball moving.
it's very much like old school service academy option football is what it is starting to look like. Which I mean, that's Bonneville. He's Citadel guy, so that's that was their identity when they were really good. Was they were going to line up and they were going to slam it down your throat. There's going to be some misdirection, and you're going to have to stay on your assignments. And they're kind of getting back to what they've done in the past. They put everybody and their brother in the backfield. Like everybody's running back. We're gonna see which ones of you can get through a hole, So it's interesting. There's Big Tots. That little running back for 4D was a tank, dude. He was thick. He made Tots look silly. He put his foot in the ground. Tots couldn't stop that train. He was going too fast in the other direction.
Yeah, kind of upset. I couldn't make it to see the game, but
Justin, what did you see out of Whale Branch?
About what I expected. Offensively, they are what they've been. Bowers is a quarterback. He's a big, tall kid, runs pretty well. They'll run a lot of read option, where he'll stick it in their belly and then make a read and either give it up or pull it out. He's got an arm. He's got a big arm. Dayon Brown's a pretty legitimately lethal target. They've got some juice on offense. The line's real good. On defense, they're a little discombobulated right now, but I think they'll get there. Hatcher wasn't there tonight. He had rotator cuff surgery the other day, so he's laying low for a few days. And he calls the defense and has a lot to do with the defense. So, it would make sense that they were a little out of sorts tonight. And they faced 3 pretty good offenses. But they also forced some turnovers, so which is kind of their MO. They're going to bend but not break, and then get the hat on the ball and get it out of there and try to, grind it out. So looked like a pretty typical Whale Branch team to me. And they got a lot of continuity on that coaching staff. Those guys have all been working together for a long time. So I expect them to be right there. Hampton, I think, is the team in that region, but I think Whale Branch is not that far behind them. So it'd be fun.
Yeah, I'm kind
We
of
got their
excited.
rankings. We got their rankings today. Preseason rankings in the high school football media poll.
Yeah, I saw that.
So not a great showing for our teams. Beaufort just outside the top 10 in 4A. They're the top in others receiving votes. May River also received votes, which is a little interesting because I would have thought Bluffton would have gotten votes over them.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Although I think May River may end up being better than Bluffton this year, quite possibly. I think Bluffton has to be rated ahead of them right now.
That's going to be a good game, though. That May River Bluffton game is going to be fun to watch.
Somebody voted for Battery Creek in 3A. I don't know who. I love Battery Creek, but they weren't winless last year. And that doesn't need to. They didn't need to get any votes. Hampton ranked 3rd in Class 2A with 1 first place vote. Was not me. I think I had them 3rd. Whale Branch receiving votes in 2A. So I had them 10th. I was one of their votes. And then neither of our teams is in the poll in 1A, Hardyville or Ridgeland, although I think they're both kind of sleepers in 1A. Ridgeland's got a lot back. Now, Ridgeland, the challenge they both face is that they both have had head coaches for a short period of time. But Ridgeland, because Ridgeland Barr was the AD and the head coach, and the new superintendent said we're not going to have our district AD be the head football coach at one of the schools, conflict of interest. So he'll just be the AD now. So he had to promote someone to head coach in a short-term situation. So, that's the only question I have with Ridgeland. But skill-wise, Ridgeland is going to be very strong. Winston Smith and Xavier Plowdness are studs. Devin Fields takes over at quarterback. He's got some big shoes to fill because Mo Brown was really good, but he's a confident kid, and he played some last year when Maurice was hurt. So he's got a good arm. He can run. So I think Ridgeland is sneaky in 1A, and then Hardyville, you just don't know because most of their kids played JV for Hardyville last year instead of varsity for Ridgeland. And so they've been playing together, and I know they got some guys they're really excited about, but I just don't know how much. And I work there now. Coach Hawthorne wouldn't give me nothing today. He says he don't talk to the media. He wouldn't give me anything. So I don't know exactly what they got. I'll have to sneak over to practice one day after school and do some spying, but or wait till the kids get there next week. They'll fill me in on what we got, the Canes. But yeah, so that's where the rankings stand for now. I'm trying to get some people together to do a Skiza poll. I'm sure Max, you'll be happy to vote in a weekly Skiza poll, and I'm sure the Stricklander will. And
Yeah, I'm down with that.
yeah. Well, maybe we'll just make our own if nobody else wants to do it around the state. Just make our own. But yeah. So Tristan, you boys got a game on Friday?
Let me check because I
Hitting
think
that Christian Porter gout, I believe.
I believe so.
Ooh.
That was a nice play, by the way. I don't know if
Yeah, I
you just
did
saw
see that. That was crazy. Yeah.
That was a good play. And
I tell you what. I know it's the first week for Christian County, but I think they have a bit of a shot against Porter Goud. I think Porter Goud's a strong team, but I think this is going to be fun for Hill Neck Christian Academy this year. It's a very young team, but it's also a team that I think Paducci's excited about because he mentioned to me the other day. He's like, last year I didn't really coach that much. These guys knew how to play the game properly. This year, he said it's going to be fun because I get to coach these kids more because it's a much younger team with a little bit less experience than last year's.
Yeah, that's kind of what he said to me too. He's kind of relishing. He likes getting to coach a little bit more, getting his hands in the dirt, and I suspected that about him. He likes to coach them up. That's his favorite part. But as I predicted, this will sound familiar if you were listening earlier. Bryce Libran gave me a report on their scrimmage tonight. Some good, some bad, about like a first scrimmage usually looks. So that's almost exactly what I said at the outset, that most of these scrimmages are going to look like. You're going to see some stuff you like, some stuff you don't like, some stuff you got to work on. But it's really just about getting out there and seeing what it looks like, lining up against guys with the other hats on and seeing which guys go into the fight and which ones start backing up when the ball's snapped, and then you know what you got on Friday nights. But yeah, it's a great time of year, man. I'm excited for high school football in the Low Country. I think we got some really solid squads that are gonna be fun to watch, and we look forward to listening to you calling the games on Beaufort's own, Tristan.
Yeah, I look forward to calling them, man. It's exciting to be able to have this opportunity, get on the podcast with you guys, get Beaufort's own with Javon. It's just nice to give some shine to our local athletes who don't get enough of it. So,
and get you guys some reps on the headset and on the mic, and start building toward your future as well. So, thanks so much, man. We appreciate you. Get your homework done. Get ready for school tomorrow, buddy.
All right, man.
Have a good one. Tristan. That's Tristan Roberts, Whale Branch student from Beaufort's own, helping us out as well some, and definitely look forward to working with Tristan more down the road. Great kid, and really coming into his own on the broadcast, man. I know they had the technical difficulties because first game of the season for them too, and the audio was giving them some trouble. But Tristan sounding good on the mic, getting better all the time, man.
Yeah.
What are you building over there?
Sorry, man. It's crazy out here. Dude, Tristan sounded great on the broadcast Friday. Hold on, let me get to a spot where it's not so freaking loud. Hold on. I mentioned that Beaufort Academy team. I thought could be a strong team this year. I think it's good for them that they play Northwood. It gives them a challenge in the first game of the season. Yeah. Gives them an idea of what they can look like, even against a challenging, tougher opponent. And they're gonna have some tough opponents this year. So I expect them to be a solid team. But one of the questions I had, which is why I asked Tristan, was what does that defense look like?
Yeah,
and I think that
is the biggest question, because offensively you can see where they're going to have success. Well, Underwood's really solid back. Shuford, obviously, veteran leader who can do it with his arm and his legs. Fripp is electric. Jace Polk is a big playmaker as well. They've got guys who are going to break big plays on offense. But defense is the question. And Shuford said like he likes his DB group, but the linebackers are kind of a question. And I think you saw that a little bit with, Northwood just getting deep, getting into the second and third level consistently. So I think that's kind of what they're looking for right now is some guys to step up and kind of plug that hole at linebacker, see who can do that. Whether that's dropping guys back off the line or bringing guys up from DB, but they got to kind of figure that out. They're going to be a little undersized, I think, and just have to kind of fight through that and scheme their way around it. But they got a really great coaching staff. I mean, not just Shuford, but he brought guys with him from THA, and he's got guys that have been with him for years and years. And then they got Clifford and Harry Sprouse sitting up in the nest, watching it from up top, which is just like 80 years of football coaching experience, watching it from the top down. So that's just a huge asset. So I think they'll be, by the time they get into the meat of the region schedule, they're going to be very competitive. And I look forward to that. But it was a tough outing for sure. Shuford was 8 of 13 for 120 yards and a pick six. Just didn't see the guy. And 5 for 36 rushing. Underwood was 19 for 71 and a touchdown. After they really bottled him up early, he started finding some room. Fripp was 4 for 48 receiving. Polk was 3 for 67 receiving and 5 tackles, and Grady Lamb had 6 tackles. So they'll need some other guys to step up on defensive side of the ball, like you mentioned. But I think they'll be right there. Patrick Henry, Carlton Prep, very similar teams with similar questions, guys they have to replace. But then I think Hayward is kind of the front runner. I don't think anything's changed there. I think they're the team to beat in 1A, but we'll see.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with that. I think they always have been solid for the last few years now, but I think this year they have a really good looking team this year.
Yeah, last year was the year you expected them to kind of drop off when Shuford left, and they really didn't that much. I mean, they were still right there. And so I think that kind of boosted them. And like it gave them a little swagger. Like the kids that were still around were like, "Oh, hey,
yeah,
like we're still pretty good." And they've definitely got some confidence coming into the season. And they got some big old country boys now. Like Dodge Peoples, that dude is a dude. Bo Pinkney is an animal. Like they got some big old tough boys that could go play football anywhere around. Not just a Thomas Hayward. So I think that'd be tough. Let me shout out the varsity sponsors of LowcoSports. They support us, so please support them. DDS Web Design, building, hosting, and maintaining websites for businesses and nonprofits to get results. So if you want to get seen online so you can do more and think bigger, go to ddshhi.com. Parker Law Group serves legal needs across Colleton, Hampton, and Jasper counties, and they've jumped on board to help us continue to expand our coverage in those counties and shine a light on more deserving teams and student athletes around the Lowco. Dr. Ambrose Cole is the official chiropractor of LowcoSports. You can find him at Rooted Living Wellness in Bluffton, and he'll get you feeling right, mind, body, and spirit. And Reverence Wrestling Club, our official wrestling sponsor and the presenting sponsor of the Lowco Grind podcast, bringing you all the wrestling news in the Lowco all winter long, and with occasional episodes to fill you in, as well as crossing over into the Lowdown. We'll have our wrestling guests on from time to time as well. So thanks to Reverence Wrestling Club for helping us continue to expand our coverage of wrestling in the Lowco. Those are our varsity sponsors. Max, I don't have a whole lot more. I got one other note. The summer youth golf season wrapped up with the big all-star tournament up at Polly's Plantation, Tommy Cuthbert all-star tournament. 2 champs from the Lowco, brothers, I presume, Paul Morrell and Daniel Morrell. Paul won the 10 to 12-year-old age group with a 1 over par, and Daniel won the 7 to 9 age group with a 4 over. Don't know how many years apart they are. They might have to play against each other in the same age group at some point. That could be fun. But great showing from those guys. And our guy Brady Satcha got to play up there as well. So congrats to him for making the all-star event. He had a good summer on the golf course, and we look forward to seeing him on the sidelines of the Bobcat game soon. That's going to be fun.
Yeah, that's going to be a lot of fun. I golf's just starting to wrap up for the summer season, and then you now get into the football season. You also get into the volleyball season, which starts, I believe,
Tomorrow, I think.
tomorrow. I think, yeah. So I'm excited, man. Fall sports are right around the corner. They're just about to start, and I can't be more excited. This football season is going to be so much fun. The volleyball season, I think we have some strong volleyball teams in the Lowco area as well. So, look to see
Always.
some region champs and maybe even some state champs. I think we have some really good volleyball programs around here.
Yeah, I think I'm going to try to slide over to May River tonight since it's not far from home. Excuse me, not far from home. They got a try match with New Hampstead and Hilton Head Prep, so chance to see a couple of Loco teams early in the season is always a good thing. And I think May River will be pretty strong. They've definitely been on the rise. They brought in a new coach last year, and it felt like they kind of took another step. So they got a lot back. I'm excited to see what they look like. Hilton Head Prep always has some talent and is very competitive in Skeeza. So good volleyball.
Yeah. Keep an eye on Hilton Head Christian Academy too, because they always have strong volleyball teams as well. So keep an eye on them as well. Yeah, like we said, I think there's some strong teams on both football and volleyball this year, and teams to definitely watch out for. And oh God, I'm so excited. I am super excited about this upcoming fall sports season, and I'm sure Wes is as well. And hopefully we can have him back on later this week, and we'll get to talk to him before the football season. Well, I guess it's already officially began, but before it really begins.
Yes, we will plan to have just our regular Monday, Wednesday, Friday this week, although Friday will be like our Lowco Pigskin Live, like dress rehearsal sort of. Just 3 games on the schedule, plus Patrick Henry playing in a jamboree, and there might be some other scrimmages. But Porter Goud at Hilton Head Christian is, I'm guessing, where you'll be, Max. JP2 at Colleton Prep is where I'm thinking I might go. And I'm not sure Wes might want to go to Hilton Head Christian as well, or he might want to go to Hilton Head Prep BA. But I'm sure we'll have friends at all of those places. But Hilton Head Prep BA is interesting just because, BA kind of licking their wounds coming off what happened on Saturday night. And if they're not careful, Hilton Head Prep might sneak up and make a game out of this. I remember last year when Hilton Head Prep went over there.
Yeah.
They fought tooth and nail in the first half. They really hung in the game, and eventually BA wore them down and kind of ran away with it. But Prep fought them tough, and I'm telling you, that Prep team is bigger, faster, and stronger than the team we saw a year ago. Going to be really well coached. Steve Fuller is the offensive coordinator. I think Doug McFadden is the exact right guy for that job, and I think they're going to beat some people this year. They're not going winless. I'll tell you that right now. And if you're not careful, you'll be one of the teams they beat. They get a little confidence early. They could be a little bit dangerous. They don't have a ton of kids. They're about 25, but they're playing in 2A, and I really think Skeeza 1A might be stronger top to bottom than 2A this year. So I think they're going to win some games. I'm hopeful that they'll have the joy of victory in Sea Pines this season. It's been a rough go down there.
I agree.
I think JP2 Colleton Prep is probably the matchup I'm most excited about. Just because I think that's a really even matchup between 2 Lowco teams. But that Porter Goud Hilton Head Christian game is also very interesting, and I think will tell us a lot about HHCA early on. I want to see Reed McCollum. I'm really excited to see
him. I do too. I'm excited to see how this Christian Academy team looks, being a former Eagle. But also, like you said, Hilton Head Prep. I've been waiting to see Hilton Head Prep, step it up in football. It's been a really long time since Prep has really been, in a word, successful at football. I want to see Prep get back to those, those days where Hilton Head Prep and Hilton Head Christian Academy were going at it for playoff spots and state championships. I mean, there was a time of day where Hilton Head Christian Academy and Hilton Head Prep were playing for state championships.
That one at Hilton Head High was amazing with Michael Herman, and I guess it would have been Sergo quarterback in Hilton Head Christian at that time, I think.
Yeah.
It was either Gilmore or Sergo, but I think it was Sergo. There were some great battles when Matt Lehman was at Hilton Head Prep too. I mean, just some epic battles between those two teams. When Peduzzi was at Prep and Tommy Lewis was at Hilton Head Christian, that was unbelievable year after year. So I would love to see it get back to that place. That'd be great to see. And Prep's definitely, they got a lot of things going really well. It's just football that hasn't been. And so, I think they've made the first steps to changing that, and I think we'll see significant progress this year. So that'd be fun. You want to hear my interview with Reed McCollum from Media Day? I got to cue it up.
Yes, please.
All right, let's do it.
All right, here with Reed McCollum, the man who takes over at quarterback for Hilton Head Christian Academy. And I think people are excited for this because everybody got a look at you last year and already could kind of see what was coming this year, the body, the arm, prototypical quarterback. So how excited are you to get to be the guy this year?
I'm excited. I mean, I've been sitting behind Dylan for 2 years now, but got some playing time last year outside linebacker. So I'm excited to fully be the leader of this team and show everybody what I can do.
It definitely puts a lot on your shoulders this year. You guys got a young team. You got a good couple veterans on the offensive line in front of you. But that also means it's a lot of guys that you've probably played with over the years, right, on JV and things like that. So you feel like you have a good rapport with these guys? You guys?
Oh, yeah. I mean, our team has great chemistry. I mean, we've been together, our receivers and defense, we've been together for all of our high school years now. So, I mean, we have great chemistry together, and we're excited to show everybody what we got.
Right on, man. Tell us a little bit about your game as a QB. What are you going to do?
Throw the ball far. It's my specialty. I mean, Dylan was more of a running type quarterback, but my goal this year is to just sling the rock and show everybody my arm.
All right, so we're going to spread it out.
Oh, yeah.
Find an open man, huh? You like scramble a little bit when you need
to?
Yeah.
Scramble, yes, sir.
Coming off a state championship season last year, what's the kind of the mood in the camp going into the season?
I mean, I feel like it's written us off already, but I mean, I feel like our team's fighting right now. Every practice has been intense this year, way more intense than last year's practices. I mean, everybody's fighting to get back to where we were last year, so yes, sir.
All right. It seems like you and Pinewood Prep have a pretty good little rivalry
developing
now. You looking forward to that one?
Oh, yeah, I'm excited for that one. Writing that name on my calendar this year, Pinewood Prep.
Right
excited, yes, sir.
Thanks so much, Reed. We appreciate you. Can't wait to see you out there.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Good stuff from Reed McCollum. I'm really excited to see him take over at quarterback. I do have concerns with them on defense. I mean, on both sides of the ball, they lost a ton of guys. Like they only have like 2 and 3 starters returning on each side of the ball. But they had a really good JV team. They had a lot of young depth on that team last year that got playing time. But I'm concerned about on defense because he was their leading returning tackler from a year ago at outside linebacker. And I don't know how much you can really afford to play him at outside linebacker now that he's the starting quarterback. So that'll be something to keep an eye on. And I would guess they probably don't play him a lot on defense early, but then as they get later in the season, if they need him, they start to mix him in there, and then when they get to the playoffs, he can be part of the rotation as needed. Is kind of what I
Yeah, I love Reed. He was fantastic last year on the defensive side, and then I got to see glimpses of him at quarterback, and I loved what I saw. And like he said, he's looking to sling the rock, and I mean the kid can run. The kid can run too if he needs to. But for a guy because he's got an arm as well. So for a guy to have an arm like Reed does, as well as can run the football if need be, I think that's going to help Christian Academy push themselves. And I think they do make the playoffs off of his playing. And, I think with him and the receivers that he's got, some of those receivers he has, worked with for the last few years. And he's learned from Dylan Clark as well for the last 2 years. So I think with all of that, I think Reed's going to be a real star for the team this year.
I do too. It'll be interesting to see kind of who emerges as his weapons. Like, I think Jackson Richardson is a guy you got to keep your eye on. Finn Ussery. Those are guys that the younger kids that I coach at Hilton Head Christian, the baseball guys, have been talking about them for a couple of years. So I knew they were coming down the pike. So, always exciting this time of year to see those kids that you've been hearing their name for a couple of years, like, oh, wait till this guy gets here, and kind of see how they handle their first exposure to playing at the varsity level. Just all kinds. I mean, storylines abound at this time of year, which is the best part of it. Is just kind of waiting to see what emerges. And I mean, we knew Hampton County was going to be a great story going into last year, but I don't think we saw quite what was coming from Patrick Henry going to win a state championship. Beaufort 2 years ago, we knew that they were going to be really good, but you can never assume that it's going to end with the state championship. Hilton Christian last year, I don't think any of us were really thinking about them
I
as
was
state
about
title
to say,
contender
yeah.
early, and even midway through the season, they didn't really look like it. But man, by the time the end of the year rolled around, there was nobody going to beat them. So,
Oh yeah, I mean, I think that those first two games, one of them was against their eventual state championship opponent, Wilson Hall, and I watched them play Savannah Christian. Savannah Christian's just on another level. They had a guy, they had a couple guys going D1 anyway. But Wilson,
they had the #1 recruit in the country.
Yeah, I mean that team was just a ridiculous team to watch, and I watched that whole game on YouTube. But the Wilson Hall game, I expected Wilson Hall to be strong, and I expected Hilton Christian County to be strong, and they kept it in the game to a certain point in that game, and then it just got away from them in the end. And I was like, okay, I feel like defense is a big issue right now, and then all of a sudden, like third, fourth game, the defense started showing up, and I was like, yep, that's the team I was expecting to see this year. And they finally showed up, and then they really played well down the stretch. And then going into the playoffs, I was just like, yeah, no, if they end up playing Wilson Hall, they're not going to beat him this time around. There's no way.
If Paduzzi barks at you long enough, you become a junkyard dog.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
It starts to rub off at some point. But so yeah, high school football season right around the corner. Can't wait to get going with that. It's here, but just the one game. So Friday night will be kind of light schedule, just 3 games, and then on the 23rd is when we really hit it running. Let me count how many games we got on our schedule that night. We got 10 packed on the schedule for the 23rd. So we'll be out in force. And 1, 2, 3 of them are Lowco and Lowco. So
and we're gonna be there. We're gonna be
that helps
there.
us decide which ones to go to. Got Whale Branch,
Bluffton,
Colleton, Hampton, and Hilton Christian Battery Creek. So
yeah, and we're gonna do our best to keep it all live and keep those updates going for you through our Red Zone version of Pigskin Live.
That's right, Lowco Red Zone. We'll start that. The plan is to start that at 9:30 p.m. For me to get to a stable internet connection, boot up the stream, and then have our correspondents log in from their phones and give us live look-ins. So that's the plan. We'll see how it goes. Yeah. It's best laid plans, but we'll take on the challenge. We'll see what happens. We'll be ready for whatever comes our way. Live television, baby. So with that said, the Lowco Booster Club supports us, so please support them. We got the Court Lifestyle Pros. Daniel and Debbie Court are Lowco natives with Charter One Realty, and they want to bring you home to Hilton Head Island. Eagle Creations has promotional items and custom apparel, including our new Lowco apparel line, so go check that out. I can drop the link in the comments for you, but you can also go over to Eagle Creations and see what they can do for you. They've got all kinds of promotional items, custom gift baskets, custom apparel, and much more. And they'll take care of you over there on Argent Boulevard. Jay's Barbershop is the place to be in Ridgeland. Whether you need a haircut or not, you can wander in for great conversation and leave looking stylish at Jay's Barbershop. Barefoot Floor Care of the Low Country, Chris Odom gave us our thumbs up tonight. He gets floors so clean, your feet will thank you. If you got sticky, dirty, nasty floors, you got to go get them cleaned by Barefoot Floor Care of the Low Country. They get the floor so clean, your feet will thank you. And Hudson Seafood House on the Docks, the presenting sponsor of Under the Bus on the Lowco Media Network. Gonna have a new episode tomorrow with the fellas. Looking forward to that. And if you need to get some seafood, our buddy Mullis, remember Mullis told us he likes that oyster po' boy Andrews way. Well, I called him earlier and he was at Hudson's, so he wasn't joking. He likes to hang out over there. So that's our Lowco Booster Club. We also have a new member, the Hurricane Sports Cafe out in Hampton, Great spot if you're ever
Yes,
out
sir.
that way. In the Western Lowco, you can stop by Hurricanes, and they'll fill you up. Good place over there. Good folks.
Well, we will definitely be doing that this year.
Oh, no doubt.
100% doing a live show from there.
No question about it. We'll have to get our guy one time up there with us. Maybe get some of the fellas that come back from college to join us. Kayvon Chisholm, Xavier Garvin, all those guys, Zion Dobson. And I can't wait to get back to Hampton County and see some football. I'm probably going to that Carleton-Hampton game, if I'm being honest with you. Can't probably pass that one up. So that's our Lowco Booster Club. Anything else that we want to talk about tonight, Max?
I'm not sure. There's not a lot going on. I mean, the Olympics just ended this past weekend. Congratulations to the men's and women's basketball. Actually, both of those games for Team USA were absolutely amazing games. My God, that women's game came down to the wire too. That was scary. That was scary. I was like, good Lord,
that was surprising.
France is showing up, man. My God.
I got to take some credit, though. I turned on the men's game against France, and we were down double digits, and we came back and won after I turned it on. Turned on the women's game, we were down 10, came back and won. So you're welcome. Give me my gold medals.
Yeah, I didn't get a chance to watch the games, but I was keeping an eye on it throughout I was going in and out between the stream and stuff. All of a sudden, I'm like, oh crap, the USA is down by double digits. And then I look 5 minutes later and it's like a 2-point game. And I was like, where did this come from? And then I'm like, oh, it was Steph Curry. Steph Curry had an absolute madness.
It was unreal. I texted you and Wes and said, Wes, your boy can't miss. And he hit us with an uneffing believable. That's how good it was. That Wes said
it was really good. It was really, that's Wes for you, man. If something's really good,
out of character for West, but
it was.
But that's how amazing Steph Curry was in that moment. He sent it right after he hit that ridiculous last one.
Oh, it was so fun.
4 arms.
Oh God, it was crazy. That might be one of the best heat checks I've ever seen.
Oh, that was ridiculous. Just 4 arms and you just threw it up.
Yeah, him.
That was the dagger too. I put it away.
He might have beaten, because my favorite heat check is Kyle Korver when he was with the Atlanta Hawks, and he, shot, I don't know what it was, 5 or 6 threes within a minute or something like that.
Yeah.
And then I think Steph Curry just beat him because that was crazy to watch. I got to watch that part. I put it back on right as he started this heat check, and I was like, oh, my God. Steph Curry is the GOAT, man. He's the GOAT. He just saved Team USA basketball, man.
That was unreal. That was absolutely unreal. It was great basketball too. The French team
was
played
really
exceptionally well. It was really good. That 4x1 women's race was unreal too. Women were just incredible in that race. Just smoked them, Ledecky them. It was crazy.
Oh yeah, I know. Yeah, it was awesome. Crazy. But that women's game was real. I think that women's game was even more fun to watch because that came down to the last second too. If that French player, I don't know what her name was, but if that French player would have just stepped right outside the 3-point line, it would have been a tied game and we would have been going to overtime.
It was
in the gold medal game.
Yeah.
It was close.
Right on. Well, looking ahead to the rest of the week, as I mentioned, we've got some volleyball Tuesday night at May River, New Hampshire, Hilton Head Prep. A scrimmage Wednesday, Patrick Henry at Bridges. Thursday, we got Hilton Head Prep at Savannah Christian in volleyball, and we've got Hilton Head Christian, Hilton Head Prep playing golf at Port Royal. I'm muting you. You're getting loud. And then Friday, we play football. We play football on Friday. So we look forward to that. That'll be good times. And we look forward to having more great guests this week. This tonight's show was a little helter-skelter, but we got through it. And we should have Wes back on Wednesday. Our new friend Tim Alonzo planning to join us as well. And we'll see who else we can round up to talk about high school sports in the Loco. We'll preview this Friday's high school football games and get you ready for what else is to come this weekend on the Loco sports scene. So thanks so much to Tristan Roberts for jumping on with us tonight. Beaufort's own, great spot to catch the games on Friday nights if you can't make it out to the sidelines, or just watch it on your phone from the sideline, from the stands. I've been guilty of watching Beaufort's own streams from the sideline at a different game before, and certainly on my drive home. So we appreciate them and their partnership. And thanks so much to all of our sponsors and all of you who listened or watched tonight. And if you're watching on demand, join us live next time. We'll be back Wednesday night, 9 p.m. is the plan. We'll let you know on social media if that changes, but that'll be the plan for Wednesday night on the Lowco Sports Lowdown. So thanks so much for joining us. And for Max Arraj, I'm Justin Jarrett. Till next time, go Lowco.
The Lowco Sports Lowdown podcast is a production of Lowco Media LLC and LowcoSports.com, an independent media outlet providing grassroots local sports coverage in the South Carolina Lowcountry. We are sustained by community support from sponsors and patrons like you. Get in the game with a monthly pledge of $1 or more at patreon.com/LowcoSports to keep us going and growing.